What is happening at Gamer Dude here, and there is going to be a possibility that we may know what the Switch 2 pricing might cost, but, well, not really, but analysts are weighing in on what they think it might cost, and this is based on people who measure, sales on a daily basis of video games, on a monthly basis, putting up charts and things like that. These analysts know a thing or two about numbers, so let's see what they have to say. So Dr. Serkantoto, his name gets thrown around quite a lot of Kantan Games Inc., said that it would be around $400, being that would be the price they would need to succeed, saying he can't see a lot from the trailer that would justify them charging any more than that. It's a steep up from the $300 launch price of the original Switch, while maintaining, it's still maintained to this day. You will rarely see, the prices, dip all that much, if at all, and the OLED model sitting at $350, while the Switch Lite sits at $200. So while the Switch 2 is technically supposed to be a better product, it would have to be higher than all three price points. So higher than $350. It seems like $400 might be a pretty damn good bet regarding that. And of course, the Lite being at $200 and the normal being at $300, I feel like there's a fairly good bell curve to kind of dictate what you might expect to see. But he also points out everything in the trailer points to a bigger, slightly more powerful version of the same thing. So $400 does seem to be a reasonable point to be at. Then we have analysts like Matt Piscatella and Piers Harding-Rolls, which are also a couple of analysts that do their own thing but are part of different companies as well, saying that it's not too bad, but the potential of it being as high as $500, it could be potentially a thing, but it seems to be that sales projection wise, 400 might be the better number to go for. Though that being said, it's highly unlikely that they might go for 450, because again, if we're looking at like 400 as being the lowballing area and 500 being the high area, it could also very well be 450. Again, we don't have a lot of options in terms of where the actual price might fall, and keeping in mind that money now is significantly more expensive than what it was back in 2017. So with the COVID era having now passed us, things are significantly more expensive. So I think it's also fair to say that Switch 2 will still also be quite high as well. But of course, people are going to want it lower than whatever it is going to be announced at, and that is absolutely true. But of course, early adopters are the individuals that won't be price sensitive, and of course, prices can always be lowered after the fact. And whatever it's announced that, people will want it to obviously be lower. Ray's Elliott of Media, which is a company I've never heard of, also agreed at 400 being the sweet spot for Nintendo, but pointed out one specific factor that could make it go up to 500, and that is supply. Now, interesting thing about supply is the fact that we all know what happened with the Xbox One and the Xbox Series S and X and the PS5, where a bunch of scalpers just bought up all of the product and then sold them at a massive markup. Now, is there a potential for this to happen? Maybe, maybe not. But it's worth pointing out that Sony and Microsoft regret releasing the base consoles at $500 because they could have gotten away with $600 or more at launch, and that is insane to think about. What makes things even worse is that the PS5 Pro, which barely has a reason to exist, is selling at $700 right now. And of course, there have been price increases of the PS5 and the Xbox Series S and X across this generation. So the likelihood of an increased price later on down the line for the Switch 2 seems unlikely, but isn't going to be unheard of given what the PS5 and Xbox Series S and X have done thus far. Elliott has also added that the cost of making the console and how powerful it was could be factors to push the price up even as high as 500 under the right conditions, but believes 400 is most likely going to be the price tag. Juiced Van Drogen, author of Super Juiced newsletter, which I've never heard of, predicted 400 as well. Unlike other analysts, suggests that Going much higher might impact sales meaningfully, referring to 400 as a crucial psychological threshold because you're hitting a particular price point but not going that much higher. So I feel like when they do advertise it, they're probably going to advertise it at $399.99 or something like that, because I feel like that could certainly help. But what also doesn't help matters, and what I completely forgot about, is that the economic environment, specifically the tariffs that are going to be coming from the incoming US administration. So Trump's administration is going to potentially put tariffs on things, and that could slide the price up a notch. And I'm pretty sure games are going to be sold at 70 USD moving forward as well. I don't see any reason why they would stick with just 60, especially when halfway through the Switch generation, they've already kind of done that. So it'll be interesting to see how things go there. But predictions are just predictions, as it says here in this article, and anything could happen at any point. So we're not going to know anything until the 2nd of April, where there'll be a direct to kind of talk about all of these things. As I kind of did mention a lot of, the design related elements to the Switch 2 and all of that, as I overreacted to the Switch 2 trailer. So definitely worth checking out if you're interested. But with all that being said, however, let me know what you guys think about the possible pricing structure of the Switch 2, and do you think later on down the line we'll get a Switch 2 with an OLED screen? Because I don't think that the Switch 2 is OLED. I think it's just LED, just to be able to save money on the pricing of the product. But I could also be completely wrong about that, and when it comes to announcement time, there will be more information about that at that time. But with all that being said, however, let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel. I'm aiming for 500 subs by the end of the year, and with all of that being said, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.